So we are studying biochemistry. So we completed the basic things related biochemistry. Today we are going to talk about carbohydrates. Very important class from here onwards. Okay. So the basics of biochemistry is starting with carbohydrates. So here carbohydrates. What is carbohydrates? We will discuss, and after that we will discuss functions of carbohydrates, classification carbohydrates. Okay, and everything we will discuss in detail. So basically, whoever having basic knowledge of chemistry, they will understand easily. But whoever doesn't have basic knowledge of chemistry, so there is possibility of uh, not understanding, and they will having confusion, and they need to watch the video for more than twice or thrice. Okay, so classification is important. Okay, understanding carbohydrates, understanding the functions, and understanding the types of carbohydrates. These three things are very important. Okay, so I will try to explain in basic way. Okay, so first discuss we will discuss about carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates? First thing, they are organic molecules in nature. Okay, organic means they are not chemical. Okay, first thing, and second thing is that they are produced by the nature. Okay, they are produced by the nature in the fruits, vegetables, whatever the production of nature is there, you will get the carbohydrates. Okay, what the carbohydrates consist of? So it consists of carbon. Okay, carbon element, hydrogen element, and oxygen element. What carbohydrates mean? It is the hydrates of carbon. Some of the carbohydrates possess of empirical formula. So means here the carbon in the hydrogen and oxygen and carbon, we have the carbon molecule or carbon element is hydrated. Okay, it is hydrated means its energy is increased. Okay, increase, simple, in simple language. But we have other non-carbohydrate compounds also. Okay, but they are not hydrated. Okay, but some are hydrated. Like we have non-hydrated is like lactic acid. In this, hydrogen is very uh, active component. Whenever hydrogen is active components, you will able to get the form in acidic or base. When carbon is hydrated, you will get the those things are carbohydrates. Okay, so that's the reason we are calling carbohydrates. Okay, so here these things we have to remember. Carbohydrates may be defined as polyhydroxylates or ketones or compounds which produce them on hydrolysis. The term sugar is applied to carbohydrate soluble in water and sweet to taste. So here the another name of carbohydrates, what we call sugar, simple sugars. Okay, so it means the carbohydrates which are dissolved in water. One thing is that its nature, it's its nature. Second is thing that its taste is sweet. Okay, though both are two natures. Okay, you can, if you add carbohydrates in water, it will dissolve. And second thing is that if you taste those carbohydrates, dissolved carbohydrates also, it will taste like sweet. Okay, these are the two natures of carbohydrates. Functions of carbohydrates. So very important. Low. So you have to remember this. So in the basic, we understand what is carbohydrate. This is the hydration of carbon. Okay, we have different chemical compounds which are hydrated carbon, but they are not carbohydrates. Okay, but there are some non-carbohydrate, uh, non-hydrated of carbon are there, like lactic acid. Okay, and we have a carbohydrate like rhamnoxone, ribose, other things. Okay, which are not relevant for our topic, but we have to understand that both are present. What are the function of carbon? Carbon is a wide range of functions. So basically, it is a abundant dietary source of energy for all organisms. So one thing is that so every anything who are organism, they need energy. So energy will come from carbohydrates only. Okay, first thing. And second thing is that carbohydrates are precursors for many organic compounds like fats and amino acids. So basic, they are carbohydrates, but later on they can change into the fat, okay, other lipids, etc., etc. So they need carbohydrates as well as their precursors. Okay. So first thing is that every organism need carbohydrates, okay, as the energy source. So if we doesn't take carbohydrates, what will happen? We doesn't have proper energy, because carbohydrate is very important to production of energy in the cells. Okay. And carbohydrates, as glycoproteins and glycolipids, participate in the structure of cell membrane and cellular function, such as cell growth, cell adhesion, and cell fertilization. So very, very important. So why we need carbohydrates? Not as an energy source, but also for cell 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 growth. Okay. If you want to growth, you need carbohydrates. And cell multiplication, cell fertilization. Okay. So we need what we need? We need carbohydrates. Okay. This is the third function. The first function is as energy source. Second is to make another compound. So we need carbohydrates. Third thing is for cell growth, cell fertilization, cell adhesion. Okay. And the fourth thing, they are structural compounds of many organisms. These include the fiber, plants, exoskeleton of some insects, and the cell of microorganisms. So basically, they are structural components also. Like we have in the plants, in the insects, like we have skeleton. Insects have also in skeleton. So carbohydrate is the essential element to maintain that skeleton. Carbohydrate is the essential element for the plants, and the carbohydrates are the essential element to build the microorganism cell wall. We have cell wall, cell membrane. Like we have boundary in our house, like the cell having the boundary that is called cell wall or cell membrane. Okay, this is very important. So every insect, plants, microorganisms, everyone need carbohydrates. Next, fifth important function is it will store the energy. Okay, and then storage of energy. Okay, whenever you take carbohydrates, what will happen if it is extra amount? It will store in the form of glycogen. Okay, glucose convert into glycogen stored in the uh, f- uh, liver, some adipose tissues. Okay, okay. Whenever uh, your body needs, it will release those glycogen and convert into the glucose. Okay, so this is the basic and important functions of carbohydrates. So that is the reason we need carbohydrate. So if the carbohydrates are not there, what will happen? The person cannot get the proper energy. Okay, proper energy, and then there are not conversion of fat and amino acids will happen, and cell growth will stop, cell fertilization will stop, cell adhesion will stop. Okay, other microorganisms will affect, and there is no storage of glycogen. Okay, so this is the important function of carbohydrates. Next is classification of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are having three major groups. Okay, one is monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, polysaccharides. So we'll discuss all this. These are the basic, these are the based on sugar units. And how many amount of sugar are there? So they divided this term. You can see that, you can see this is the formula of glucose. Okay. Mono and oligosaccharides are sweet to taste, crystalline in character, and soluble in water. Hence, they are commonly known as sugar. So, sugars are mono and oligo. So, how many types we have? Mono, oligo, and poly. Mono means single, oligo means more than single, poly means more than double, triple. Okay. First, we will discuss about here monosaccharides, oligosaccharides. Basics are given here. What are the monosaccharides? Mono means one. I don't know Greek. In the Greek, the mono means one. These are the simple carbohydrates that are often referred to as simple sugars. Okay, this formula is that, and they cannot be further hydrolyzed. The monosaccharides are divided into different categories based on the functional group and the number of carbon atoms. So everyone here, the chemistry is given, so it doesn't need those things. So basically, you need to understand that monosaccharide is single carbohydrates and as well as known as simple sugars. I mean, you cannot hydrolyze and you can make more powerful than that. Because single means single only. Single carbon is there. Carbohydrates is there. Okay. Next is oligo. Oligo means few, more than one. It contain monosaccharides molecules, 2 to 10 molecules. So again, 2 to 10 molecules. Here, less than two, one mono, less than above than one, 2 to 10. If there are 2 to 10 molecules in any thing, what we are eating, what we are using, so it means that is oligosaccharides. Okay, oligosaccharides. Oligo means few. So they are hydrolysis based on the number of monosaccharides units present. The oligosaccharides are further divided into disaccharide and trisaccharide. So we will discuss later. But here you understand, oligo means more than one, means 2 to 10. Okay. So it is the monosaccharides, 2 to 10 monosaccharides, because mono means one. So 2 to 10 is there. So one, between 2 to 10. Okay. Next, polysaccharides. Polysaccharides means many, more than 10. There are high molecule of organs. Carbohydrates are there. Mostly they are usually tasteless. They are non-sugars and forms collides with water. The polysaccharides are two types: homopolysaccharides, heteropolysaccharides. So we will discuss in detail. So here we understand about carbohydrates. How many types? Polysaccharides, monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, polysaccharides. In monosaccharide, one single carbon is there. Okay, they are simple sugars. In the oligosaccharides, there are 2 to 10 sugar molecules are there. So we will call monosaccharide 2 to 10. Okay. So there are types also, the disaccharide and trisaccharides, as well as polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are, poly means many, many, saccharides means here carbohydrates or sugars. So many sugar molecules are there, many carbohydrates molecules are there, but they are usually they are tasteless. Okay. And they have two types: homopolysaccharides, heteropolysaccharides. So monosaccharides. So we have to discuss monosaccharides. This is all about monosaccharides. Whatever the types and the sugar activity and their formula and the structure of glucose is here. Will not go into detail. And monosaccharide reactions, if we attach with another molecule, what will happen? Oxidization, reduction property, glycosides, dehydration, everything is there. So here, till here, we have the types of monosaccharides, sugar acid, oligols, everything is there. So we will complete till here. So we'll keep the class here only. Okay. Tomorrow we'll discuss the monosaccharides. We'll complete one day one saccharides. Okay. So this is the basic thing we discuss. We learned today. If any doubts regarding that, kindly ask.